I hope you're all doing well. I'm junior researcher Adam Southgate, now permanently working as the Order of Merlin's instructional video producer. Though I'm not entirely thrilled by this development, as my passion has always been in research and development, I have at least been given access to captured entities for interviews, and I am allowed to continue my own research in my spare time. Now we move on to general announcements. Firstly, I'm happy to say that we now have our volunteers for the infiltration mission into one of the cults of the Lady of Bones and Roses. The specific cult going nameless for obvious reasons. I'm sorry to say that if you haven't heard back, that means you weren't chosen. However, the two are currently undergoing training with the South Wales Police Service, and if one or both should fail the training, then the contract will be posted again. So, fingers crossed, I guess. Secondly, and as I'm sure you're all aware, the feeding of Thraig Goch will be taking place next week, Thursday. Although we at the Order are aware of the celebration, we can't have a repeat of last year's feeding. We need a full 30 hunters of master rank to act as the shepherds this year. Last time we only had 23 and 4 of the volunteers managed to make a run for it. Though they were shot down before they could completely escape, they died before they could be re-volunteered, and 4 of our hunters had to step forward in their place. On a personal note, I know a lot of you see it as the protector of Wales, but it's an entity, one we're unable to dispose of. The only reason we feed it 20 people a year is to keep it pacified. It's a saving grace that it accepts the cursed and infested. Otherwise we'd have to feed it the very people we're supposed to be protecting. I'm well aware this won't stop the drinking around the mountain, so as long as we get enough sober volunteers to act as the shepherds this year, it's fine. So, today we'll be covering the recyclers and their many variations. We'll be covering the many castes within a recycler's colony in the order that they will usually appear, as I believe this will give you a good idea as to how they operate as a species. Firstly, the Shaper. Similar to an ant queen in that it creates new recyclers, a Shaper is around 10 meters long and 1 meter wide. Running down the length of its body are its many arms, each with a different appendage fit for a different function. These include, but are not limited to, a variety of different sized hands, bone-like blades, bone-like saws, and what we have come to know as the Stitcher. Secondly, the Reapers, the warrior caste of the recyclers. Reapers are typically the shape and size of an adult male chimpanzee, though about twice as strong. Typically with doubled up, fused arms, both hands will be formed into large blades formed from exposed bone. Reapers will also have a secondary exposed calf muscle, giving them tremendous leaping ability. Once the hive has grown enough, they will hunt in large groups referred to as hordes. Thirdly, harvesters, similar in shape to the Reaper, though smaller in build, with one arm with a dedicated cutting appendage and the other with a highly sensitive hand. The harvester's function is to delicately dissect, dismember, and flay the kills of the Reapers. Fourthly, the Signaler. As the harvesters completely lack eyes, the signalers direct the harvesters to where they should be at all times. Standing around 12 foot tall, the signaler's head is devoid of all features, apart from its many eyes, that give it a 360-degree field of vision. Its body is thin and stretched, lacking arms, as its sole function appears to be acting as a sense of sight for the harvesters. It communicates the information with a low-frequency humming and is able to direct up to 50 harvesters simultaneously. Fifthly, the Movers. A mover will shuttle parts around and to the hive. Shaped like a flat rectangle, a mover usually has 10 limbs in total. The four at the bottom side of the creature are used for locomotion, while the two at the very front are used to manipulate objects and pass them to the four arms on the upper side of the creature, which will then lock together to hold its cargo in place. Sixthly, the Hoarder. Difficult to describe due to the wide variation. A hoarder is a random collection of human body parts fused to a central node that keeps the added parts alive once attached. Used as a living store, hoarders are living life support machines and are completely unable to move themselves in any significant way. Finally, at least for now, the Thinkers, one of the rarest members of the colony, second only to the Shaper. The Thinker acts as the strategist for the colony, controlling the other members based on what is needed at the time. They will not leave the hive, instead receiving information from other members that do regularly venture out. Their body mass is mostly made up of human brain matter, with only a thin skin and a fluid mixture protecting it. It has only minor mobility, walking on four short appendages, though it does have two front limbs capable of minor flesh shaping, allowing it to make changes to itself when needed, but mostly adapting other members of the colony to fit more specific roles within its plans. Thinkers show a very high level of intelligence, being able to construct grand, elaborate strategies. They will reduce the frequency of hunting if they feel their human prey is becoming too aware of their presence, and are even able to communicate with humans if pressured to do so. The following is an interview with one such thinker that I conducted for this lesson. A great many sets of human lungs and vocal cords had to be thrown toward it, and a great deal of electric shocks had to be administered before it relented and attached the organs to itself. Interview starts 3:21 p.m. Do you understand me? Why, what? Do you mean, why did we bring you here?
Yes.
Well, to learn, to understand why you're here.
Foolish meat.
Don't you look to understand the world around you?
Only to find more parts.
So you don't learn for its own sake?
Pointless, unnecessary. We must collect. We must construct.
Okay, so where did you come from then?
We were created by thee. We have no names.
The Shapers?
That describes its function, yes.
Right, but that's not what I meant. I mean, where did your kind come from? Or where did the Shapers come from?
From you.
Right, but who built you? I mean, originally.
We do not know.
Okay, so why humans? Why not animals?
We are humans.
You're made of humans, but you're not human.
We are made of humans, so we are humans.
But you don't act or live like humans. In fact, you act more like you social insects.
Or maybe you don't act like humans. Yet.
Do you remember anything from before you were changed?
Yes.
Okay, so what?
Everything. Everyone who is part of us knew.
So you have the collective memories of all the people you're made of?
Only the ones that make my mind
This will seem like an odd question, but it's a good way to confirm. What is tea?
liquid, brown, sweet, bitter.
Okay, so you can remember substances, but what do you feel when you think of it?
We feel cold and burning on our feet.
No, sorry, I mean emotionally.
We know your meaning, but do not understand anymore.
So you're emotionless. Okay, can you remember a specific event from before?
Small human sitting large cake in front, fire atop.
Well, I'll take that as yes. Do you remember their names?
Yes,
Will you tell me them?
no,
Okay, we've always destroyed your colonies before any other types of recyclers can be created after you. So, do you know what's next?
no.
I'm going to need more than one-word answers.
Communicate like this.
We're nearly at the end. Please.
Only the shapers know, and they have no mind.
I know you don't feel emotion, but what does the idea of your own death make you think of?
Irrelevance.
Why irrelevance?
We can be replaced.
But you were the last of your colony. The rest were destroyed.
A new shaper will come. Form a new colony. Eventually, one will succeed.
Interview ends 3:28 p.m. As should be apparent by now, all recyclers are made from human body parts harvested from the population. We have no idea where the shapers come from, as they too are completely made up of a multitude of human beings. To make it even worse, we don't even know which of the spheres the recyclers come from, though our best guess is that they come from one of the sub-spheres. If this is true, it would raise the possibility that they are, and have always been, humans, just from another sphere, or possibly another time. Whether this was done to them, or they did it to themselves, we cannot say. What we can confirm is that they are trying to do it to us. Multiple rural towns have been targeted across the world, but luckily the infestations have been detected and exterminated before they became unmanageable. The biggest fear for us is an infestation beginning close to a city, as it's a lot easier to tell when 200 people go missing in a town of 500 rather than a city of 300,000 or more. The truth is that there may already be multiple infestations slowly growing beneath cities all over the world, as recyclers don't need to eat, drink, or even breathe, and they could slowly be building their numbers in secret over decades. The sad truth is that despite the danger they pose, recyclers are quite low on the list of existential threats we face. Though conventional firearms are ineffective due to their ability to repair damage after combat, fire is our best weapon against them, leaving them with no parts to replace the damaged ones with. But that's all we have time for today. I hope you took at least some of the lesson in, with Arthur's might and Merlin's wisdom. Thank you.